There are three types of router table inserts that you can buy today. So we're going to talk about some of the basics, what they are, the pros and cons of each one. You have acrylic, phenolic, and aluminum. And I like to start here, and I like to say this because a lot of people call me up and ask me that. And so I always kind of give an Inserts 101 type of lesson. If you take your router and you mount it to the insert, and then you leave that in the table, you will get an insert that will sag over time. And this is where the problem is. You can do just about anything that you need to do with an acrylic insert if you take the router out, or you take the whole thing out and store it underneath your table. And a lot of people will buy this big behemoth of a router, 3 horsepower, which I can't quite understand why they need, but they have to have it. And then they hang it onto there, and a couple months later, boom, their insert's not square. Okay, this is a plain acrylic insert. Usually they're clear. Sometimes they're called Lexcan. They're very inexpensive. This particular one is actually unbelievably strong because it's 3/8 of an inch thick, and it doesn't have any holes. You can do whatever you want to the thing. They're cheap enough that you can buy many and drill out, but you do have to drill it out. So drilling out the center hole, it's a little bit of a pain. It's not bad if you take your time, use a Forstner bit in your drill press. It'll work. You also have to fit it to your router. We have directions for that on the site under directions, under the acrylic insert. This is a deluxe acrylic insert, and sometimes it's called phenolic depending on the company that's offering it. Basically, they're all acrylic, the same thing. They are a little bit nicer because they have the snap-out rings, and because you have those snap-out rings, you can use them kind of like a zero clearance insert and match the hole to the size bit that you're using. If you're using the larger raised panel bits, you can pop out the red or the orange yellow ring, the yellow ring, and you can go all the way up to 4 inches, which is as big as anybody wants. It also allows you to put in aftermarket guide bushings, and Porter Cable is the industry standard guide bushing, and that just sits right in the middle of the red ring, so that's pretty slick. There's more pros to it. It has levelers built in. Those are set screws in each corner. You may see that. Those set screws work off a magnet set that's included. The magnets you would mount in your table, and it holds the router table inserts in one spot. But more importantly, it sits underneath the insert, the leveler insert, so it doesn't dig into wood or MDF. It has like a nice little hard surface to sit on. The insert also has starter pin holes and a starter pin that comes with it. And you can permanently mount a router, like if, let's say you have a Triton router that you can make above the table adjustments, and there's a Freud router as well. You can permanently mount this insert into a table. There's 4 countersunk holes in addition to the levelers. Now you wouldn't be able to use the levelers, but it does have 4 countersunk holes if you have those particular routers. The cons is you have to drill your router to fit, but you know what? You have to do this on just about any router plate out there with a couple of exceptions. So that's basically not that big of a deal. Okay, aluminum. These are much stronger. They're 1/4 inch thick. They have the levelers in each corner. They have the snap-out rings, and it's the same size as our deluxe. So if you have the deluxe and you decide, you know what, you got to buy that 3 horsepower router, you can buy this aluminum one, and it'll fit in the router table depot brand tables, not Benchtop. The cons, you have to drill it to size, just like I talked to before, but the price is a little bit higher than a standard acrylic because it's aluminum. Now these are the bench dog inserts. Some of them come pre-drilled, as in this particular example. They have both phenolic and aluminum, and some are pre-drilled and some are not. So one thing to know, that bench dog inserts only fit in a bench dog table unless you build your own table and you cut the insert hole custom. Then it'll fit, obviously. The pros, hey, it's basically, the same pros and cons of all the other inserts. It's a well-known brand. The price is higher, especially if you buy the metal inserts. They're going to cost you $90, and that's a price that bench dog sets, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it. And they have their own unique size. Well, that's all I have for you. Go out there, have a great time, and may you be covered in sawdust.